Hey YouTube, I'm out here today just doing some bushcraft stuff since we're actually having a pretty warm day out here in the middle of winter. So I'm just going to be showing you today kind of like my method for building fires. Everyone kind of has their own, but this is the one I like. So what I've got here so far, if you can see down here on the bottom, I've built a little platform with some little sticks about this big around. And what that serves to do is, one, that's wood that's going to burn, and two, it elevates it off the ground, which does two purposes. One, it kind of insulates it from the ground, which kind of can suck a lot of heat out, and two, there's going to be more airflow going through the cracks underneath and supply more oxygen to the fire. And then what I have over that is just like dried grass and things, which that's kind of like my tinder. Should burn pretty well. But the thing about grass is it doesn't burn particularly hot. I've tried a couple different tinders out here, and that's the one, like everything's pretty damp right now because there was a lot of snow earlier, but that's the one that's the driest, has actually been lighting, so hopefully it's hot enough to catch the rest. Like I said, it's been kind of damp, so it might be a challenge today. It might take a couple tries, but if this tinder doesn't work, I have another trick up my sleeve. So then over that, I have some like really thin sticks, and that should be the next thing that lights. Some other things I've gotten here are, if you can see, there's kind of like that redwood, and that's just like really oily, fatty wood. I don't know if you would actually call it fat wood, but it has lots of oils in it, and even though it is slightly damp, it should be able to light and burn. And I just kind of sawed that from some trees and then batoned it with my hatchet. And then once all that gets going well, see, what you don't want to do is choke out your fire. You don't want to have too many things around it or else oxygen can't get in. The number one reason fires fail is from lack of oxygen. And so that's something you've got to be aware of. But once that starts burning pretty well, I'll take some of these larger logs and some of these sticks you can't probably see on the camera right now. I have some sticks about like this big around, and I'll start placing them around the fire, not in the teepee fashion, but in like the log cabin style. And I like some people like either the teepee or the log cabin. I find that the teepee is better for getting the fire going, and the log cabin's better for keeping it going. So I kind of like migrate from the teepee to the log cabin halfway through. Hopefully it's not super windy so you can actually hear what I'm saying. But I guess I'll see once I review this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use a lighter and see if I can get this going. Sometimes it takes a few tries to really get the tinder to go and burn. Or how about this? The thing about tinder is it burns out super fast. Hopefully it didn't burn it all out right there. There, it seems to be migrating kind of underneath the pile like I want. Let's go get some more tinder, because that didn't really light any of that other stuff. Actually, there is one little spot of fire. Yeah, so sometimes that happens, and if nothing else, that served to kind of dry out this wood a little more. I think it was a little bit damper than I expected. I tried to get the driest stuff I could find, but real quick, I'm gonna pull up some more of that grass and put it underneath and see if we can get that same deal going again. Hopefully it'll light something this time. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Most people probably would cut the video and start over from scratch and pretend like it was their first time, but something that's important for fire making is you gotta understand that sometimes, even with the right preparation, things don't go as planned, and you gotta be able to adapt. So hopefully that stuff is dried out. It's really hot. I'm gonna just kind of rebuild the teepee here, kind of fluff this up. Probably the most difficult part about this is there's not a lot of small sticks that would normally light after the tinder that are dry at all. They're pretty damp and green. So I think that might be where a lot of my problems is arising from. But now that I've got it dried out a bit, I have a feeling it's gonna work this time. If this doesn't work, I do have a fire starter that works really well, but I'm trying not to use it. But I don't mind if I have to. Okay. It's nice. That's one reason you want to have lots of different methods of starting fire in your bag. Sometimes some of them fail and others work. Okay, let's go for take 2. Things are looking a little better here. Once you get a real fire going, it's easy to keep it going. Really just getting your sticks about this size to light is probably the most difficult part, but after that, you're pretty much home free. Just gotta make sure you don't put on too much and choke it out, but I think we're in the clear now. Once this gets built up a little more, I'll start putting that bigger stuff on. I'm not sure what kind of evergreen this red stuff came from, but it smells really nice when it burns. Some of you probably know what kind of tree it is. Nick Makes Preps, I'm sure probably knows. Probably comment. I'd appreciate it if you did. There we go, things are looking good now. Pretty soon I will start to put bigger things around it. May as well go ahead. Let's get it started drying out. It's pretty windy today. It's kind of probably helping getting some oxygen into my fire, which is good. I found this stuff that's super brittle. Must have fallen and died a few years ago. When you add oxygen, it's going to help with combustion, but it's going to burn through your fuel quicker. So just something to keep in mind. But it will help, that extra heat will help light other things. I got a little bit more of this tinder, so I might as well throw that on. I always like to keep a little extra tinder on hand in case it doesn't work right the first time. When you're doing that, I don't know if you can see me blowing in the fire, but you gotta make sure not to burn your face off. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. If you're old to the channel, thanks for sticking around. Hopefully I'm gonna have a couple videos of what I'm doing out here today, but I probably won't release them all on the same day. It'll probably be like one a day or every other day or something. So, if you like my videos, you can look forward to that. I don't know if you're like me, but I just love staring at the fire. It's kind of mesmerizing. I know the contingency plan likes looking at the fire. whenever you do that transfer from the log cabin, or from the teepee to the log cabin, it can be kind of difficult to get the fire to want to spread out there at first. So sometimes I still, as I'm transferring it, kind of add in the middle like the teepee. And that's fine. It's kind of crazy. It was like negative 12 degrees here in the Ozarks like 2 days ago. Now it's like high 50s. I'm in short sleeves. It's kind of spreading where I want it now. I don't want to put that and block your view. There's a lot of deadfall. The problem is it's just all very damp. It's gonna take a while before this gets to be a real good campfire. I did some squirrel hunting earlier because I was hoping to do kind of like a catch and cook video, but I didn't really see any. So if I do see one, I got my shotgun over here, I'm gonna blast it and then I'll cook it over the fire. That'll be kind of cool to see. But I haven't seen any all day. Well, things are going good now. I think that's gonna be it for this video. I've already kept you 20 minutes, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. I learned something. Yeah, have a good one.